we go. The streets of Amsterdam, going south. Amsteldijk Golf Club. Light supply. Love this city. Famous Rijksmuseum. Been there many times. We'll be there again. So this rig takes a bit of getting used to here. I don't know if you can see it, but I have the backpack set up. It's not inexpensive. 99 bucks from Jumbo Golf. It's not an expensive bag, but it's a wide load. So maybe a bit challenging during the day when the streets are a bit busier. But right now you can see it's empty, smooth going. So we'll see what it's like on the way back. Spot on target. You can see the sign in the distance there. It says Amsteldijk. There it is. That looks like the car entrance. This is the Fietspad. Amsteldijk. Okay. Cute. Nice. I love that bag. So economical. You have to buy me one of these. So I decided to rent for $5, €5. All these push carts. There, get on the range. How nice is this though? It's a beautiful spot. Maybe I'll just set up right here. So I forgot to tell you, the guy who sold me those irons, or whatever it was, 150 bucks or so, he gave me these shoes, these old shoes of his. So they're like coming apart, but they're my first pair of golf shoes in 20 years. So let's see how they help me. So I'm gonna see if I can set up here and check out my inaugural swing. Yeah, that's all right, I guess. My goodness. Guess you can't see the ball itself. It's early and I'm creaky. I hit that thin, but I hit it straight. Hit it too long, hit it off the. Typical of golf, isn't it? To get one that resonates in the loins, and even if you have a terrible round, keeps you coming back for more. All right, after maybe half an hour on the driving range, can't hit a 5-iron. Very inconsistent driver. Shorter irons were okay. And I'm on to the first tee here. Let's see how it goes. And I don't have much battery, so probably not going to record the whole thing. Okay, so rookie mistake on my first outing recording in terms of the video production aspect of it, and just ran out of juice. So here's the post-mortem. So in the first hole is a par 3. It's short, 131 yards, which is 120 meters. There's a nice landing area up here at the head, and the only trouble is really those bunkers on the right. And of course, that's where I got into trouble. So I went right into that putt bunker there. And I was able to get it out, but the sand is super wet. And so I kind of flew the green, or at least to the edge of the green, and I ended up with a 4-putt the long way, and I tripled the first hole, is what it is. Then the second hole is a par 4, dogleg left. You can get into trouble on the left side with that water. So if you try and cut it and get cute, I tend to stay to the right now, as it turns out, and that's where I was. And that green is deceptively back to front sloping. It's really sketchy. So how did I do? I ended up again being afraid of that water, and I pushed it right, way right, and flew the actual fairway. Had to go in between those trees there, and so I placed it up there, laid up, and I was on in 3, which was fine. It's not regulation, but for me it's regulation. And I 2-putted, and that was a bogey. So I was happy with that. And then third hole is a par 5, which is a dogleg right. It's a pretty long way, certainly a long way for me, as I can't get all the way down into this spot here, so I can get a clean look at that second half of the dogleg. And so you kind of tend to the right side. There's not much danger there in the green, a couple bunkers. But how did I do? So I put it right behind those trees there, which was challenging. I had to sort of thread those trees to cut the corner, and I got in, lucky, not in the trap, but I got right on the edge of that trap. And then I was on in 3, so I was actually on in regulation, which was great. And I ended up with a 3-putt, unfortunately, which ended up with a bogey, and took it all day long. That was fine for me. And then the fourth hole was a par 3. It's not super long, 175 yards, and again, the only danger is that putt bunker right there, which is tricky. And for me, I ended up to the right over here, and I picked the wrong club, pushed it right. Just wasn't a great shot. But I ended up to be on in two, which was great for me, and two putted, again, another bogey. Off we went. The next one is another par five, which is hole five, par five, which is probably now my favorite hole on the course. It's wide open. You can get into trouble there on the right side, that water there, and that's sort of where I flirted with it there in that corner right there, where the water is. And then it's just a long way into the green. You got some trouble on the left with water and bunkers, but not super sketchy. And how did I do? So my first shot was right there, flirting with the water, so it was like right on the edge. It's not perfectly accurate. And then I got a great second shot, and then I had to lay it up. I couldn't get there in two, but I did get there in three, and I ended up on in three, and I two putted for a par. So that was my first par, which was fabulous. And then the sixth hole is a par four, which is really, if you really shank it left, then you can get into the water. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. You want to sort of stay straight down the fairway. And there's a lot of bunker action as you approach the green. And so how did I do? I ended up shanking it right up here, and then I duffed it, trying to avoid those trees there, and I duffed it, and then I was on a slope, and then I pulled it, and I ended up way over here, and then I was able to get on the green from there, and so that was a tricky hole for me, a bit of a blow up there. So I was on in four, and I two putted, so double bogey, and I was okay with that. Good experience. The next one is a par three, and this water over here to the left is, if you have any kind of draw or anything, you really got to keep it right side, depending where the pin placement. But oftentimes, or at least this day, the pin was straight over here on the left side, and so I tried to keep it to the right, but I didn't really succeed at that. So I underclubbed it, and I ended up there on the left. Just missed the water, and then I was able to chip on, and I ended up with a one putt for a par, which was great. So I got a second par on this outing, which I couldn't have been happier with. And the par 4-8, which is it's not super long, but it's pretty safe. It just matters whether you get a good drive and keep it on the fairway. And so how did I do? I ended up not so well. So I pulled it really hard to the left, and then I tried to get out on the fairway, or tried to get cute. I wasn't cute, and I end up with there's like on the second shot here, there's a like a bunker thing, not a bunker like in a sand bunker, but like a thing that you can escape the rain. So I was right on that, and so I tried to pop it out over here to the right, and then I pulled it left, and I was off the left side of the green, and then I was finally on. So not a great hole for me. So I was on in five, and I two putted for a triple. So I thought I was doing pretty good, and then boom, there was the triple bogey, and it woke me back up. And then the final hole was a par three, 132 yards, and this water here over to the right always comes into play, and so I'm told that they often tuck the pin way up here. So that was a bit sketchy for me. And how did I end up doing? I pulled it way left here. So it was kind of a hook essentially, but I clubbed it okay, maybe a little underclubbed it. And then I was on in two, and two putted for a bogey. And that was the round. So the guys I played with, who I was paired with, I was actually, the first two holes, I had just enough energy in my phone to put in the two scores for the first two holes, and then I had to go paper. And Martin and Stefan, they witnessed just to make sure they saw what I did, and there it is. And so I ended up with a 46, which is 12 over par for the 9. That was 2 pars, 4 bogeys, 2 double bogeys, I beg your pardon, 1 double bogey and 2 triple bogeys. And that was my first round in the official journey, 72 by 72. Off we go for more adventures.